The courtroom is silent. The tension in the air is thick enough to cut with a knife. The judge, an older man with a stern face, looks down at the young teenager standing before him. His eyes narrow as he speaks, his voice dripping with condescension. "Judge, tell me, young man, what exactly are you going to do with your life? Or will you end up just like the others? A product of your environment? A lost cause?" The teenager stands there, his hands trembling slightly, trying to stay composed. The words cut deeper than any knife. He's been here before. His community, his skin color, all weighed against him. This isn't just a trial. It's a battle for his future. The room waits as the judge continues, oblivious to the toll his words are taking. "Judge, I've seen this story before. You probably won't make it past your teenage years. And frankly, I'm not impressed by your excuses." The teenager's eyes flicker with a mix of anger and hurt. His hands ball into fists at his sides. His lawyer, a young woman, had said this would be different. She had assured him this wouldn't happen. But here they are. He looks at her briefly, his hope wavering as the judge's words land like blows. His lawyer, however, is still silent. She's reading over her notes, her demeanor calm, as though nothing is wrong. But then something shifts. A heavy door creaks open, and a figure enters the room. The teenager's lawyer stands up and turns toward the figure now entering the courtroom. The man walking toward them is not just any lawyer. He is the lawyer, a highly respected, renowned attorney known for taking on the biggest cases, the ones no one else dares to touch. Everyone in the room turns to watch as he walks with quiet confidence. The judge's smug expression falters ever so slightly when he sees him. "Lawyer, Your Honor, I believe you've forgotten one thing. This young man, this lost cause, as you so eloquently put it, is not just another statistic. He is my client, and I will be representing him today." The judge's face tightens. The courtroom seems to hold its breath as the newcomer takes his place beside the young teen, placing a reassuring hand on his shoulder. "Judge, excuse me, but this court has already started. We don't need anyone else coming in here and stirring things up." The lawyer leans forward, his voice low but powerful. He meets the judge's gaze with the full weight of his words. "Lawyer, perhaps you missed the part where I'm the one who's been hired to represent him. And I'm afraid your preconceived notions about this young man are clouding your judgment." The judge shifts uncomfortably in his chair, but he says nothing. The power dynamics in the room have shifted dramatically. The audience watches in stunned silence. The teenager, who once stood as a target for the judge's mockery, now has someone standing firmly beside him. The room seems to recognize the shift. The justice system, the very thing meant to protect him, had failed him. Until now. "Lawyer, this court is about fairness, right? About justice. And in that spirit, let me remind you of something the law clearly states. Every citizen is entitled to a fair trial, no matter their age, race, or background. So, if you're not willing to offer that to my client, then perhaps we should find someone who will." The tension is unbearable. The judge, stunned by the boldness of the lawyer, begins to lose his grip on the room. The silence is broken only by the sound of the gavel striking the wood, a signal that something has dramatically shifted in the proceedings. The judge, now visibly shaken, looks at the young man again. His face softens, perhaps for the first time during the trial. He clears his throat before speaking, his voice no longer carrying the weight of mockery. "Judge, I will review the case again. You're right. The law is about fairness, and every person here deserves that." The teenager looks at his lawyer, the hope slowly returning to his eyes. The power of truth, the presence of someone willing to fight for him, has changed everything. He now stands in a courtroom that was once stacked against him, only to have the scales of justice tilted back in his favor. The room slowly empties out, but the teenager knows this moment will stay with him forever. He had been mocked. His future had been questioned. But in the end, justice was not just about winning. It was about having the courage to fight for what's right, no matter the odds. His lawyer had not only saved his case, but she had reminded him of something even more important, that he, too, deserved to be seen and heard, that his life mattered. What would you do in this situation? Would you stand up to a judge who has already made up his mind about you? Share your thoughts below. Let's talk about how we can all make sure justice is served. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more videos like this. Thank you for watching.